what is your definition of a real man? And how do you think that definition would align to what a female thinks a real man is?
I think it's actually cultural, right? Like I come from the Caribbean, right? So a real man is your job was to provide, right? That was the make and model. You put a roof over your family's head, make sure they have food in their belly, right? You you provided. You make sure that's what they did. That's what if you had a family outside of your family, that's your prerogative, right? About 45% of them do, others don't. So it really is a cultural of where you grew up and how you grew up. I don't like the idea of people say toxic masculinity, right? I think it's just different to how we have educated ourselves about the brain and our psychology. We have used what does not actually work for men and how we interact to address male issues. Right? We as men, for the most part, don't need to be called. It's why the manosphere exists because what are they just telling you? Basic, be better, right? In just a way that doesn't make them money, right? But it's putting an enemy to why you're not better. But it's basically things your father or your father's father taught you, right? So I don't know about toxic in that way, but I'll let someone else speak.
Fuck someone else. My name's Hero, motherfucker. What the hell? Shit. God damn, I've been here for 3 weeks, man. Shit. All right. Okay. I don't subscribe to this conversation anymore. Because, and for 2 reasons. Because one, the definition of a man is whoever raised you. Whatever man raised you is the definition you're going to pick up on. So I was raised by a Nigerian father who worked 3 jobs, came home at midnight, and would fall asleep at the table, and I'd wake up in the morning to greet him there with his cold dinner still in front of him, saying, "Hey, you have a great day at school today." And I thought nothing like it until I became a proverbial man and had to work just 2 jobs and couldn't cut it. So your definition of it can be whatever you want, but I do understand what they mean by having toxicity within a certain genre or demographic of certain people. I think it goes to a demographic of individual youth in certain men who are misguided, lost, and rely on the likes of Joe Rogan, the dude that sounds like Kermit the Frog, and rely on these people to tell them that they're okay and that they're good and their faults and their shortcomings aren't their faults. The definition of a man is a good person. Period. If you consider yourself a man or a human being at all, the best version of you is always going to be the good version. You're doing for the weak. You're standing up against what's wrong, and you're trying your best to leave whatever you've done in a better state. Period. So this whole thing about guys not being able to like navigate the way, to me, a woman has never done anything to impress me. Now, do I think I need to paint my fingernails black or purple or pink to show my support and admiration? No, maybe I'll just get up and fucking do the dishes every now and again and not worry about my balls falling off into the sink and washing away because I happen to do a woman's task in the kitchen. It's mind-boggling. This conversation has cause more damage than good, and people love talking about it like they have an option. I'm here to tell you, if you're worried about going half with a girl, if you're worried about this, trust me, you have nothing to worry about. You're shooting above your standard. You'll never hit the rim. You need to learn, people in general need to learn how to humble themselves a little bit.
Speak for yourself, brother.
Hey, I am speaking for myself. I'm speaking for myself as a person who knows that I can go out and afford the life that I want to live and give any woman the life she wants to live. But guess what? I got to make sure that woman is right for me and that she's worth keeping in that lifestyle for me. So, yeah.
Here, can I say something? Because there's someone in the chat that I've heard this argument, not just by him, but by many people, right? People of this generation. Right? I know this person specifically, Crip, right? You're 2 years older than me. Right? No, I think 18 months older than me. I'm 31, right? So I don't understand when people say of this generation, right? Like we're the same age, right? Yeah. And you come from a Southern Black family. I come from a Caribbean family. We're basically two sides of the same coin, right? So I don't understand what you mean, like, of what when people talk about of this generation. It's just the roles have been changed over 40 years due to judicial laws, several laws. Yes, women were forced to raise men, right, for 40 some odd years. So you have a generation of men who are forced to not raised by their fathers. You know what's the difference? Why they call Africans the Caribbean? We were the model minority before Indians, right? Because we were raised by our fathers. You had to disrespect your father to do what you did, right? As someone who did his own thing, I knew I was partly disrespecting my father by doing what I want until eventually you get back in line. And once you finally get back in line, your life ends up better. They help you out. So it's about where you culturally grow up.
Yeah, I'll put this out here as a blanket statement. Every version of every role model or idealistic man that I've ever met in my life has had a woman at his side, has had a partner at their side. We're just better. Men are just in general better when we have the appropriate woman at our side, period. Or partner, whatever. Like your partner is designed to make you better. Like the levels that my brother has reached since being married is amazing. Since finding his equal and opposite. Stop worrying about like what other people think. Just humble yourself and fall in love.
Like last thing I was saying, I look at the trajectory of my parents, and I know who my father was before. He would not be the business owner he is today if it's not for my mother. My mother is the one who goes to his accountant and lawyer, right, with his numbers and say, why doesn't he just buy the businesses he's working at? So I understand that when you find the right woman, you become the better man, right? But too many of us don't even know what a part of the man you wanted to be. Like, I know for a fact, if I become half the man my father is, I'm a decent man.
Oh,
they just. Hey yo, where's my motherfucking V3 on this shit?
Jesus Christ! Oh my God, this I can't stand.
That's some sweet shit. That's some sweet shit, man.
No, I mean, 24. By 24, he was married. By 30, he had 2 kids. He's a business owner, and he was a business owner in his 30s. Like, he's a 2-time business owner. I'm 31, not a business owner, not married, no kids. So if I become half of what he is, I wouldn't be all exactly. Right? Comparatively to my father, I'm a loser.